The Blackhawks lose 3-2 in the shootout to the Colorado Avalanche, but there's a lot of good. There's a little bad. We'll get to all of it next on the CHGO Blackhawks postgame show. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks postgame show presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app and use that code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. I'm Jay Zawoski. That's Greg Boyson. Mario's going to join us in about 25 minutes or so, live from the United Center to break down the Blackhawks' 3-2 loss in the shootout to the Colorado Avalanche. Before we get started, welcome. We're glad you're here. I know it's a late night, so we appreciate you being here with us. Hit that like button for us. Make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube page as well. And if you're catching up in the morning on the podcast, we love you and thank you. Make sure you're following or subscribed on your favorite podcast app. So again, Hawks lose 3-2 in the shootout, blow a 2-0 lead. But when you look at the full 60 of this game,
65.
Yeah, 65. Just, lost to a better team. And I know it's frustrating, and there's some specific things we're going to get to as the game goes on. But as I've been saying for the last little bit here, once again, the Hawks put together a pretty complete effort and just fall short based on their talent. And that's just kind of how it went. They were right there with one of the best teams in the NHL, and their young defensive core and their young forward group pretty much kept those guys quiet until the very, very end.
Yeah, I mean, it reminded me a lot of the, the Dynasty Blackhawk era, the 2010s, where the Hawks can sleepwalk through 40 minutes against a bottom-feeding team, and then the third period go, okay, let's go win this game. That's pretty much what happened tonight. It seems like we spent almost the entire season and all of last season doing the same post-game show. It's a bad post-game show, but it seems like the last couple of weeks,
it's felt better.
We've been doing the same post-game show saying, like, yeah, they lost, but
right,
it's the kids that are getting good playing time. It's the kids that are, I mean, look at that overtime period. It was like Ryan Donato and then, all the kids out there, Nazar, Rinzel, Levshinov,
Bedard, Moore, and
Levshinov.
Rinzel out there for one. They had Levshinov, Bedard, and Nazar, was it? They had all the kids.
Ryan
were out there
Donato
all the
was
time.
the only veteran that touched the ice in the
I believe
overtime.
That's correct. Yeah.
So that was fun. But yeah, the Avs played with their food for 40 minutes and then they ate their meal in the third. I mean, but there are a lot of good things that happen. Yes, the kids playing in overtime was fun to see. Two biggest takeaways from tonight for me is Spencer Knight looked really good.
Really good.
It was his best game that he's had in a while. He gave up that goal that was disallowed where you were like, oh no, up high again, but then bounced back real nice. My only critique, both goals against, not really his fault. Cale Makar with that much space is going to score on every goalie in the league.
Yeah, God, he got that shot off quick.
And just when Darren Pang did a great job breaking it down. Like he dragged it in like he was going to go to the far post and said, nope, I'm going to go back to the short side. And Knight had no chance. Yeah. And then the deflection with all that traffic later. But my only critique about Knight tonight is you don't have to play every puck that goes behind the net. You could stay in the crease every once in a while. It almost cost him a goal in the first period. Then he had trouble with it while they were on the power play. So other than that, and then the penalty kill was awesome tonight.
Absolutely.
4 for 4, a shorthanded goal.
And tons of chances.
Should have had two shorthanded goals. Nick Foligno, I don't know if his stick broke before he got off the shot or he broke it because he missed it. But Colorado came in to the game. They had, in March, they had a 40% success rate on the power play in March. And then tonight, The Blackhawks had more chances shorthanded.
It's April, bitch.
Right. March is over.
Can I say that, Sarah? Damn it.
But
Can I say that? Crap.
We derailed the show 4 minutes in. So those are my two biggest takeaways. Spencer Knight, good.
Yes.
Penalty kill, good. Power play, bad.
Oh, that's the thing. And I definitely want to
second straight game.
I want to spend the second segment digging in on Spencer Knight a little bit. So let's save that. But boy, man, I think part of this is the downside of playing young players is that, and we've seen it for all the young guys that come up with the Hawks, whether it's all of them at once like right now or as you're easing them in like they were earlier in the year, is they're so damn literal on the power play.
Yeah.
We play the slingshot power play, so you will slingshot the puck. They will learn through experience, through ice time, the context of when to do it and when to carry it. Like, how many times have we seen Alex Vlasic on the power play this year just be like, you know what, I'm just going to take it. I'm just going to rush up the middle of the ice. I'm going to cut through everybody. I might dump it in. I might put a shot on goal. I might peel off to the point. Whatever it might be, you've got to execute the play in the context of what the opponent gives you. And right now, this young defense is not doing it. We saw the Hawks get a late power play. They put Vlasic and Rinzel on the top power play, and I think part of that was to potentially defend.
One-goal game, yeah.
Yes.
Colorado was going to try a shorty chance. They'll get two defensemen out there.
But I think Lev Shinov is, the guy I'm primarily talking about with the power play woes. I like the way he's played. The skill is evident. I am more convinced now than I've ever been that he is going to be an elite or very close to elite defenseman. He's not there yet. There's a lot to learn. We knew that when he was drafted. We knew that when he joined the NHL. He's 19. He's in his fourth league in 4 years. It'll come, but the raw skill is there. But when you have so many young guys on the ice at a time, some of that literalness is going to rub off, and it's going to get a little bit frustrating.
I know people don't want to hear this, but the power play is where you'll probably miss Seth Jones the most.
Yeah, probably.
Because he was the guy that did a lot of that carrying of the ice, and he knew when the slingshot was there and when it wasn't, and he also did a lot to keep the puck in. I think that was his most underrated aspect of his overall game here. It was his play on the power play, keeping pucks in. So, you take a guy like Seth Jones out of that role and you replace him with a 19-year-old that's got 10 games of experience, it's going to be a drop-off, and the power play is going to suffer. It's been a top 10 power play all season, but the last few games, it hasn't been great because, let's be honest, they can't get the puck in the zone. And I'm not a coach. I'm not an expert, but I have a feeling if you can't get the puck in the zone, you're not going to score a lot of goals. Just a hunch.
Interesting. Let me evaluate that.
I have to wait for TNT to break it down.
So we need Biz to give us a video diagram about it.
Ask Petey next time he's on the show if that theory holds true.
Well, I saw our buddy Lebowski earlier in the chat say that something about rushing the defenseman and you might be capping their talent here. I don't think what's happening right now is not rushing anybody. They're saying it's the end of the year. We made some trades. We've got some roster spots available. The veterans we have, we're not married to. Alec Martinez is hurt. TJ Brody's been bad and will probably be bought out. So why not? Get these guys up here. There's no pressure. No. There's no expectation. It's one thing if you start next season with 5 out of 6 defensemen, 23 or younger. That's a different level of expectation because you're asking them to start fresh, maybe try to compete for a playoff spot, which would be hugely surprising, but there's more pressure on them in that situation. Right now, I think everyone's of the understanding of, hey, go out there. Let's see what you got. We know you're going to make mistakes. It's not the end of the world. I think the veterans have done a good job of sort of passing that message along to the young guys too and saying, look, we get it. You're inexperienced. We're here to help you. We're here to guide you. We're here to make things easier on you on and off the ice. So don't worry about making mistakes. Go out there and play your game and let the chips lie where they may. That's different from starting a season fresh with all these young guys, which I don't think they're going to do next year.
No, I doubt it. I see it. It probably won't be that great if they do. But, yeah, get these kids 10, 12, 15 games, whatever it is, 5, and then they have something to go into the offseason knowing what they have to work on, what they need to, what If you're going to go, if you're, Lev Shinoff or Rinzel and you go in the offseason with yet to make your NHL debut, you still don't know what to expect.
Right.
But now if you play a handful of games, Lev Shinoff's going to play close to 20 games. If, by the time this is all said and done, now he knows. He's experienced it. He's faced Nathan McKinnon. He's faced, he'll face Sidney Crosby twice. Like, he's going to face some of the best players in the game, and he'll have that experience to then go in the offseason, sit through the video sessions and then get on the ice and get a very specific offseason workout to get better at the things he needs to.
Well, I think
it's important.
So many of the things that we have seen too from these young guys has been certainly coachable. And if you get in a coaching staff, NHL experience or NHL caliber coaching staff to really help these guys develop and grind the tape and show them, like, there's nothing that looks to me like a talent deficiency or a scared to play sort of thing. It's reading the plays wrong. Like Andrew Sorensen talks a lot about with Levchinov, gap control, right? Like knowing, okay, when to pinch and then when to start heading back, like learning to keep those gaps in the right position, the right space between him and the guy he's defending in both zones, right? And those are things that you learn with experience, with time, and with coaching. Everything I'm seeing that the young guys are screwing up, if you want to call it that, is fixable with experience and coaching.
Yeah.
So, and that's why we've been saying for months that the biggest thing this offseason, yeah, we all want to see a major free agent signed or a major trade happen, whatever it might be, but the coaching hire is so critical. Absolutely. You have to get the right guy in here for this team.
Well, yeah, you have to get a guy that can do the developing,
yeah,
while knowing what to do in game. And sending Connor Bedard to take a face-off with 18 seconds to go in a one-game game is not very good in-game coaching. I don't care how good he's been the last month or since December. He's been much better. He was 4-7 on the night. This is where you really miss Jason Dickinson, because if he was healthy, he's taking that draw. But you had to have a better option than that, because even if face-off be damned, why is he on the ice in that situation anyway? Because he's one of your worst defensive players.
Yes, and look,
that's the in-game coaching that's got to change.
The other thing too,
eventually he has to be in these situations, but
sure,
maybe.
But
not.
Boy, getting a win in this game would have gone such a long way, and you give up a goal with 11 seconds to go. You've got Donato out there on the ice. He's the only guy the entire game for Chicago that won over 50%
He was
of their
out there.
draws.
Let him take the draw.
Let him take the draw. And I know you want Bedard out there maybe for the empty net opportunity. Fine.
So he could pass it?
I'm down with that. And learn how to defend a lead late. But damn it, you have to win the faceoff. And he lost it clean. And you could vouch for this. I said it to you before the puck was dropped. Why is Connor Bedard taking this faceoff? Why is he the
Connor
one taking
Bedard
this
versus
right now?
Brock Nelson? That's not ending well.
No, and the Avs kicked their ass in faceoffs. So it was 65-35 all night. But you've got Donato, the one guy who won 67% of his draws. He's on the ice.
Or
he's right there.
Put like Foligno out there, because Foligno at least is, Foligno is not the best faceoff guy on the team, but he's really good at the tying up of the faceoff.
Yes.
So at least
kill time.
So at least like maybe it kills 2 or 3 seconds, and you don't get that clean pass back to the blue line and then set up for the redirection. That's what I'm talking about, the in-game coaching.
Yes.
Sorensen does a pretty good job at the development. You just look at the guys that have come up from Rockford and been able to play.
Yeah.
He's a big part of that. He's a very good X's and O's fundamental guy. He's a great practice coach. I just don't think he's very good in-game coaching.
I agree with that.
So you need the guy that's the balance between the very good in-game, very good at the practicing and the strategies and the fundamentals, but knows not to do that at the end of a game. A little more awareness. It seems like the in-game awareness is not there. And, I mean, isn't that where maybe like, Derek Platt speaks up and says, hey, maybe not here? You know, I don't know. I don't know what they're.
I don't know what. Yeah,
I don't know what they do, but
he does.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We're only gonna have to not know what he does for 7 more games.
Not gonna work here. Anymore,
right. He's not gonna be doing anything in Chicago next year. But that's a situation where it's like you see it out there, and you're just like, this is gonna end badly.
Yeah,
because he's probably gonna lose the draw, and then not great. You know, not a great defensive player. You're down. That's just not the situation at their time to put him out there.
Right.
I don't think.
I agree.
You know,
well, maybe he's going to say we want to give him the chance in a big moment to win a big face-off.
But then again,
okay.
I mean,
but it would have been good to get the team in 2 points. We got to hit the break zone. We'll be back with more on this, and we'll talk a little bit about Spencer Knight and some other guys that had impressive performances in this game. Coming up next on CHGO Blackhawks, powered by Bet365. And speaking of Bet365, Bet365 is live in Illinois. So whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. New customers now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5 win or lose. Sign up, use that code CHGO365, deposit $10 and place a bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bets win or lose. And they've got their MLB early payout offer. With the Bet365 early payout offer, you're a winner if your team goes 5 runs ahead, like the Cubs, with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. Download the app, use that code CHGO365. Again, new customers now get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5 win or lose. Sign up, use that code CHGO365, deposit $10, place a bet for $5, and get $150 and bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 plus. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER. Do that. And I lost Sarah because it's midnight. I know, but I lost the ad doc. Hold, please.
It's Monarchs. They're butterflies.
I know it's Monarch, but I have to. Usually the copy is in Notion, but now it's not in Notion. I found it. Okay.
All right.
Start managing your finances to build the life you actually want with Monarch Money. Monarch makes managing money simple, even for busy lives. With all your accounts, credit cards, and investments all in one place, you'll always know where your money stands without the hassle. Track your spending, savings, and investments effortlessly so you can focus on what matters most, making your biggest life goals a reality. Monarch Money is the finance tool people actually loved. Named Wall Street Journal's best budgeting app of 2025. Dang, that was quick. The top recommended personal finance app by users and experts with over 30,000 5-star reviews. Get control of your overall finances with Monarch Money. Use code CHGO at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with that code CHGO. All right, we got to tell you about the 4th-star nominees for this game. The 3 stars were Martin Necas, of course, Connor Murphy, and Arturi Lehkonen, who got the shootout winner. So your 4-star nominees for this game are as follows. We have Ethan Del Mastro back in the lineup in favor of Kevin Korchinski. I just think, numbers aside, I'll give you the numbers here anyway. Had an assist, +1, 17:01 of ice time, 4 hits, and a block shot. He looked like a guy who did not want to see the press box again.
No.
He played his ass off in this game. Really impressed by him. Ilya Mikheyev, again, I feel like this is the 5th or 6th consecutive game we've had him as a 4-star nominee. Shorthanded goal. Led the team in shots with 4. Had another shot attempt. Also a hit and a block shot. Really good game from him. And Spencer Knight, who bounced back nicely in this one, stopping 29 of 31 Colorado shots on goal. So get your votes in. Reveal the winner at the end of the show.
Can't wait.
And we got a $5 super chat from our friend, the Giggities. He says, first time in years I've seen a Hawks team keep up with the Avs in speed. I mean, that's evident. I saw Ben Pope tweet about that during the game. that this team is so much faster with these young players in the lineup.
I mean, the Blackhawk, 2010 teams had trouble skating with against the Avalanche when they had young Matt Duchene and some of those guys. Even before the Makars, they've had trouble keeping up with them. So yes, it is fun to see the speed, and it's been no secret over the last 3 drafts. Kyle Davidson wants to have one of the fastest teams in the NHL, and you're starting to see that.
Yeah, we saw a couple moments today from Oliver Moore where he would just be in the offensive zone, puck would go the other way, and he would bust his hump to get back, and just his speed would prevent breakout passes because they would look up and they would see number 11 near the outlet recipient and say that is taken. I can't make that pass because the guy's defended. Those little things, like just look at Ilya Mikheyev.
Yeah,
how much his speed makes a difference when you see him one-on-one with a guy on the boards, maybe at the Hawks blue line, and he's trying to break out of the zone. The fact that he's faster than most, he wins those races. He has created, Mikheyev, with his speed, so many odd man rushes this year, more than anyone I can think of on the team right now. I think Nazar would be up there too, but I don't think it's complicated that speed is good, but it is such a difference maker when you've got more than one guy capable of doing that.
For sure. And now that you pretty much have it on 3 out of your 4 lines right now, I know yesterday after practice we were excited about that third line. It wasn't very good.
It wasn't good. I'm not gonna. But you know what though? I'm not gonna judge it against Colorado.
No, it's true. They were out there a lot against the McKinnon line,
right?
Landon Slaggert, rough game. He's kind of eating. Struggling. He's riding the struggle bus right now.
A little bit.
I know Anders Sorensen said this morning that Colton Dach is skating again. He's not been able to do any kind of puck work because of his elbow. But if you get Dach back here for the last couple games, maybe that's, Slaggert's the guy that gets the reset.
Yeah.
Because I actually did completely agree logically with the reason he gave for Korchinski being the odd man out tonight. Mm-hmm. A lot of times he just says, I don't know, we got to get the other guy in or reset. But he actually said, we want him to watch Cale Makar and, the Colorado defense who's, notorious for activating and knowing when to get up top and watch that, get a bird's eye view. I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You could probably get a lot more learning points watching Cale Makar from up top than watching him skate
fly past
7 times tonight.
Hey, look at that. Wow. There he goes.
Hey, I think that white blur was Cale Makar.
Hey, I just learned about him. Look at that. I should do that. Oh. Anyway, so get your votes in for 4-star of the game, and we'll reveal the winner, like we said. Got another comment from Damien who says, as a Swiss, I love the late night games. Managed to be with you live for the first time today. I've been listening to you guys on Spotify for a year now. Thanks for keeping me up to date. Thank you, Damien. We appreciate that.
We love the Swiss.
We do. We're supposed to be neutral on the Swiss? Or they're neutral
on
us?
They're neutral on us.
Fair enough. I love the Swiss.
I love the Swiss.
Good cheese.
Good cheese.
Yeah.
Good chocolate. Watches.
Two of my favorite things.
Bank accounts. I've never had a Swiss bank account.
No need.
But some people have them.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about Spencer Knight. And for those that remember, when the Hawks made this trade, he had the great game against LA, and then we had our buddy Steve Peters on to break it down. And one of the things that he talked a lot about with Spencer Knight, and you saw Darren Pang outline it a lot today, is his, I would say the big flaw he's got in his game right now is that he starts low. He's kind of squatted, and the top of the net is vulnerable a lot with him. And we saw there was a moment late in the game where I think it was McKinnon had a shot, and he kind of popped up and got a piece of it. Jimmy Waite will train that out of him, hopefully, but he is a guy, and we saw it tonight's a great reflection of his reflexes get him out of a lot of trouble.
Right.
Like, he has got fast glove, fast blocker, super flexible, long legs. Like, seeing him walk through the locker room, it's like, that dude is all leg pad. Like, he is very, I would say, short torso, long legs. So he's got all the quick twitch stuff. If he can just improve the fundamental positioning and fight that urge to go down, which a lot of goalies do. A lot of young goalies just default to being down on the ice. He'll be great. I think he's already very good. I feel very confident about his future as the Blackhawks goaltender going forward. But that's the one thing I think in his game that needs some work.
Yeah, for sure. The book is out there that the goals are upstairs.
Yeah.
I don't think that was a secret before he got here. But you saw, that disallowed goal in the first period early. Was it Malinsky? Sam Malinsky had the shot. Great shot.
That was
but he knew go upstairs. The top of the net is open. The coaching staff did a good job of getting that one reviewed and taken off the board. But it's there. The Avs were trying high all night. I think a lot of the being low, as you said, young goalies like that, I think it helps them see through traffic when you're lower. And the Blackhawks are not very good at clearing shooting lane. Their defensemen seem to always be standing right in front of their goalie, which is not great. So that might have something to do with it. But yeah, a summer and a training camp working with Jimmy Waite will be good, because he's as good as it gets as goalie coaches. I mean, the Blackhawks have been lucky enough to have both Waite brothers here.
Yeah,
that's Stefan Waite before Jimmy, and he went to Montreal, and Jimmy took the job, and he's one of the best. He's going to be the only holdover from the coaching staff.
I would imagine so. Anywhere. I can't imagine whoever they hire is going to be get that guy out of here.
Jimmy Waite's going to be the goaltender. Well, head coaches want nothing to do with goaltenders, let alone they don't know. They don't. They're just like, oh, this is the guy you've had. He's good. They like him. Cool. Keep him.
Yeah.
I'll talk to him once a week.
Consistency pays off for those guys. And, but you can see, I mentioned it last show, Knight, even during practices, will kind of, when he's got the net to himself, all the actions at the other end, because they're doing a drill, he's constantly finding his positioning, working on his spot, working on his angles. He is a worker. That guy wants to be great. I see a lot of what we see from Connor Bedard in him, where it's just hockey all the time, which can be a drag on guys at times. And hopefully as they both get older, they kind of can find a little bit away from the rink. But I have all the faith in the world that Spencer Knight's going to do everything he needs to do to get to that next level and be great. And I think the fact that this is his net, he knows it. Jimmy Waite knows it. The organization knows it. Whatever you think about Seth Jones, they gave up a lot to get Spencer Knight on this team.
Yeah.
That's for a reason. They believe in him, and I think they should, because more often than not, he's been good. There's been a few games where you're like, could have been better there, but overall, I've been really impressed with his game.
For sure. You mentioned a key point there, which will help in the offseason training too. He knows he's going to be the number one goalie coming into the year. And I think that is going to make a big difference. Knowing that it's your job, you can prepare a different way, to where if you think you're going to be fighting for the job, you probably want to work on extra things. But when you know you're the number one, you can focus on that top of the net and all that, and those little tweaks to do. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do next season. I already can't wait for next year to start. I don't want this year to end necessarily.
I'm kind of with you that. It's been fun now.
Yeah. And I know you get burnt out at the end of the year, and I'm definitely excited that the playoffs are almost here, but off season sucks.
Yeah. It's no fun.
Especially since I don't know what I'm going to be doing in the off season. So the uncertainty of having to find a full-time gig, I don't like that.
I'll take some time off.
Extend the regular season, 114 games, please.
Yeah. All right, we got to hit the break zone. Mario is standing by from the United Center. Do us a favor if you've not done it yet. Hit that like button. Wow, already 124 likes. Lots of people watching. We love you for that. I know it's a late night, so thank you so much. But if you've not done it yet, hit that like button, and please subscribe to our YouTube page. Back with more on the CHGO Blackhawks postgame show, powered by Bet365. And just like your favorite team needs a home ice advantage, your home needs a home floor advantage, and Empire Today can help you get it. Empire Today has flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day. Those big box stores might have a flooring department, but that guy that's helping you today was probably flipping toilet plungers the day before. You want an expert. You want someone who knows what they're doing. You know, as a Chicagoan, that you're going to get it from Empire Today. Empire Today is your best bet for a new floor because they live and breathe flooring, and they'll be with you every step of the way. It's a whole different ballgame from those big box stores. Their flooring experts bring the showroom right to your home. That seems really inconvenient for Empire Today, but they do it. They bring the whole showroom to you. They do. They really do.
That's just a nightmare.
They'll pick the right flooring and the right colors for your space. They'll see how it looks with your furniture in your house, with your dog hair on your couch. They want to get the colors precise. Also, precise measurements taken, and they'll have all your questions answered, so no surprises for you. Do it. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. CHGO listeners can receive a $350 discount when using promo code CHGO. Yes, you heard right. A $350 discount with code CHGO. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/CHGO for full details. And whatever the sport, the app to bet is Circa Sports Illinois. Circa Sports, it's sports betting the way it should be, and it's non-intrusive on the Hawks jerseys, I will say. Circa Sports Illinois has high betting limits, low holds, and exceptional customer service. Bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season. Spreads, props, futures, or in-game, Circa Sports has it. Fund and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. March Madness is here. I like Duke. Are they still alive? All right, cool. That's who I picked because I know hoops. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, now we head out to the United Center and welcome our buddy Mario Tirabassi, who is standing by in the basement of the United Center. Mario, greetings.
Hey, what's up, guys? Good to be back.
Did Anders Sorensen talk about having Connor Bedard on the ice at the end of the game to take a face-off?
He said that he preferred to have Bedard as a right-handed guy at the face-off dot out there. He said he also had Donato out there for that same purpose. And his exact wording was somewhere along the lines of sometimes you get kicked out of the dot and you have two guys that can do the exact same thing in those situations. So Donato was the backup to Bedard in that scenario, but Bedard being the rule follower that he is, how dare you ever call a penalty on him or throw him out of the faceoff dot? Didn't get kicked out of the faceoff dot, but lost the draw. So,
not buying that for a second. Why would you not put? I know right-handed, left-handed, great. One guy's won 67% of his faceoffs, and it wasn't Connor Bedard. Yeah, I get having him out there. But by the way, they've also no. I'm not buying that. No, absolutely not. Donato should take the face-off. He's fired. Go fire him for me.
Okay, we'll do. Yeah, I mean,
we'll wait.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret that Connor Bedard in his career has had some difficulties at the faceoff dot. He's been better in recent weeks, recent months. Actually, he's kind of turned it around the second half of this season. But still, you'd rather have a guy who's, I don't want to say stronger at the dot, but someone who I think has a better track record of being able to win faceoffs, has had a better game tonight at the faceoff dot. So, yeah, it gets amplified because it happens in a big moment, obviously. But I don't hate the idea of, look, if Connor Bedard is going to be your number one center, you're putting him into those situations to hope that he can thrive in them. That's the point of this part of the season now, especially with all these young guys here. And it's still Bedard, who's younger than guys like Frank Nazar and Oliver Moore and Sam Rinzel. You're putting them into those situations to allow them to get those experiences and push them to eventually thrive. So I get the frustration because they lose the game eventually because, that play goes the opposite way. But that's the position that a lot of these young guys are going to be put in.
Man, I'm still trying to wrap my head around that explanation. Well, if he got kicked out, we would have had the better guy in there.
The
Yeah,
right-handed draw on the right side of the ice. So your backhand pulls it to the back right corner, theoretically. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, with Jason Dickinson out,
just win the freaking face-off.
Your other two centers tonight were Frank Nazar and Oliver Moore. Not a lot of experience there. Again, that's why, like, Donato, or I wouldn't have minded Nick Foligno, because Nick Foligno's really good at the mucking up and tying up at the draw, which could have killed 3 or 4 seconds, and then you don't get the clean pass back to set up the play. But whatever. That's one play out of a game. More importantly, did Anders talk about why the power play is really bad now?
Yeah, I mean, to Anders Sorensen's explanation, it was just poor execution, which you can watch the game and see that, yeah, these guys weren't capitalizing on chances a number of times. It's, passing up shooting opportunities to try and make a perfect play. Like it's things that we've seen happen again and again. And I think there just needs to be a sense of somebody working on the power play that wants to be someone that can make things happen. I know Bedard is a guy that can make things happen, but we've seen in his career so far, even when he's the biggest threat on the ice, the tendency to sometimes defer. Artem Levshinov on zone entries is locked into making that drop pass, and you know how I feel about the drop pass in general, but when it seems like guys are locked into doing that, it just seems like it's so easy to defend. The entries get muddied up. You have, a guy like Tyler Bertuzzi taking the puck into the zone with 0 speed, and puck gets turned over at the blue line. Like, it just seems like the power play needs guys to have the mentality of attack, and that shouldn't be something that you have to ingrain in hockey players. You're on the power play. You have literally the man advantage is what it is called. You have the advantage by one extra person out there on the ice. You should be thinking attack no matter what. So I think it's just going to come with some of these guys that are out there that have been around the block in the league on this team, that, the more veteran guys, they've not been in positions where they've been that guy on power play units before. And the guys that theoretically will be in those positions are 20 years old, teenagers, 21 years old. So they're going to have to grow into those roles and those responsibilities and those mentalities. It's rough to see that, but this is where you've got one of the youngest rosters and lineups in the NHL learning these lessons in the final handful of games.
Saw some comments from Sorensen at the end. Just pretty much seemed like he was overall happy with the performance, which makes some sense. We have not mentioned the name Sam Rinzel yet in this postgame show, and as soon as our show began, a lot of the comments were praising his game again. I want to know if he had anything to say about Rinzel's performance, and maybe we could spend a little time here talking about what we thought, because I thought he was really good again.
He didn't really name them specifically, but the young guys in general, I think when you look at this game, you look at how the analytics break down, and you say, at the end of the day, you took the Colorado Avalanche it took them overtime and a shootout to beat you. That's of a moral victory with, again, a very young roster and lineup. Like that's something that you take away as a positive of, like, wow, look at how we pushed them. But you had a 2-0 lead with 10 minutes to play, and you don't come away with 2 points. Like that's tough. But the young guys in general, like I think they were, as a whole, like pretty good, and Sorensen said as much. And yeah, Sam Rinzel, like for 2 games into his NHL career, he looks like a guy that has the utmost confidence. It just seems like he has a tendency when he gets the puck to be one of those guys, as I was just mentioning, like one of those guys that wants to make something happen. Like he's always looking to create something. He seems confident when he's got the puck on his stick. He moves well with it in the offensive zone. He does a really good job of kind of like calming things down when it can kind of get a little chaotic out there at times. It just seems like he is leaps and bounds ahead of where I think anybody expected him to be, not only 2 games into his NHL career, but just 2 seasons after getting drafted. This was a guy when he was picked in the 2022 draft, like, oh, maybe 3 to 4 years down the road is when we'll even see him turn pro. This 2 years of college, 2 games in the NHL, like, he looks like a guy that, and we hear it around, the NHL bird's eye view of the league, people talking about how good Sam Rinzel could be or is already. Through 2 games, I haven't seen anything that makes me doubt Sam Rinzel isn't one of the 6 best guys to start next season. Like, he has a lot of those tools already, and he's got to sharpen them, of course, but like, the raw talent is there, and it's ahead of schedule.
Yeah, just his stick work. There's so many little things he did with his stick tonight where even if he's like a little bit beat, can kind of reach around and poke a puck free. And I think that's that poise we're talking about, right? Like the calmness where maybe a lesser defenseman or a less mentally mature defenseman with so little experience, obviously, would have a guy get past him and just absolutely panic, right? And oh god, and try to recover and overdo it. No, he just maintains his cool, stays in position, uses his stick, uses his strength. I've been just really impressed with how easy he makes things look, right? Like with Levshinov, we see the puck moves different from him. He's got a good shot. He also makes good plays with the stick, but like that rawness is still there. I think, was it Frank Saravelli, Greg, who said that he's not going to play a single game in Rockford? I think it was
Rinzel. Yeah.
Yeah. I see that. To me, Sam Rinzel looks like a guy, certainly one of your top 6 defensemen in the organization right now. And I mean, I don't think there's any doubt. And maybe they do the Vlasic thing or the Nazar thing and send him down and keep him down there until he can't be denied anymore. But if he finishes this year and every game looks something like the last 2, I'm good. Well, and then if he starts to struggle next year, then send him back down. I don't know. I know we don't want to rush anybody, but I also think you shouldn't arbitrarily hold guys down just because either.
You don't want to rush people, but when you're ready, you're ready. Right. He looks ready already. But it's 2 games. But as you say, you've made the water and the duck analogy a lot.
Yes.
That's one of your favorite analogies. With
it's not mine. I saw a scout gave me that.
Claim it.
All right.
It's yours. It's the Jay Zawaski duck theory. But as you said, like when you look at a duck in the water, it looks calm, but the feet are going crazy underneath. You can't see. You don't see that with Rinzel. Everything is smooth and calm, even when he's got a forechecker coming in or he's getting pressured at the blue line in the offensive zone. It just doesn't look like that phases him. The feet don't get choppy. He doesn't look panicked and rush a play. He knows what he wants to do, and he does it.
And he believes he can do it. Like there was a play last game, and it was well documented. That spinorama play he made at the point where another defenseman, and actually the guy that when the scout gave me that reference about the duck, it was actually about Henry Okaharu in his first year with the Hawks. And a guy like that, when pressured, might just throw it into a corner or flip it at the net or, blindly just try to get themselves out of that trouble.
Right.
Regardless of what the result might be for the team.
Just get this puck off my stick.
Just get it away from me so the mistake is not directly mine.
I accidentally pulled the pin on this hand grenade. Get it as far away from you as possible.
Exactly. Yeah. But with Rinzel, felt the pressure. He's like, all right, I'm going to use my skating ability and my strength, and I'm going to spinorama away from this guy, walk myself into a better scoring position, and make something happen. That's the sort of stuff that separates young player hanging in there, doing okay, but floundering under the surface versus a guy who's ready. And to me, Rinzel looks ready. Again, I know it's 2 games. Let's see how the season ends, but if I'm a betting man, I'm betting he
you're clearing
ends this season in Chicago and begins next season in Chicago.
You're clearing out a little spot for him in Toronto. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
I'm for it.
Yeah,
I approve.
I'm down.
Yeah. I mean, let him play it out. I mean, we saw this past summer. We all had Frank Nazar ready to go opening night, and training camp and preseason wasn't exactly what the Blackhawks had hoped. So they sent him to Rockford, and then he tore it up. So, same thing can go with Rinzel. Like, see how the off season goes, see how the summer training goes, see how training camp goes and the preseason goes, and then make your decision from there. Like you said, Jay, you don't have to rush guys, but if a guy like Sam Rinzel next year is at the beginning of the year one of your 6 best guys, and you don't have any worries about putting him into NHL situations, let him go. Like, there's no reason to hold him back if he's ready to go right away.
Yeah, and we'll get an idea of what they think these young defensemen are going to be next year by what they do in the offseason. If they bring in, I expect them to bring in 1 veteran defenseman.
I would imagine so.
If they bring in 2, then you're like, okay, they're okay with one of these guys spending a lot of time in Rockford. But we'll see what happens. That is a late June, early July episode.
Bring it on. Because if the season's going to end, I want the fun part of the offseason to begin. Draft, free agency, lineup creation.
The fun part of the Blackhawks offseason starts right away, and that's the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah.
That's a lot more fun than the draft and free agency.
Not for me. No, give me transactions all
work.
day, every day.
Let's just watch hockey.
True. I saw Connor Murphy spoke after the game, too. Ben Pope shared a little tweet about how impressed he was with the crowd tonight. And we I think you said before the game, like, this might be the smallest crowd of the year. It still might have been, but the energy was there.
Yeah,
they were into it. Horrible weather. 8:52 p.m. puck drop. Season's basically over. But the crowd that was there was
There's
good.
a buzz about this team again because of the youth.
People are waiting, man. They're waiting to jump on.
People
But
are
what else did Murphy have to say post game?
Yeah, I mean, it was the 4th smallest crowd of the season. But yeah, I mean, he complimented the crowd that stuck around, and Blackhawks fans are dying for this team to have things to cheer about, and with the young guys that are here, there is that buzz, as you were saying, Greg. Like, it is palpable the way that this team is viewed now, completely different than when we were watching them in December and January. Like, it's completely flipped to now. You're seeing the young guys bring that energy both in the locker room and in the fan base. Murphy talked about at the end of the game, or after the game, what kind of keeps him motivated towards the end of this season. Another season where he's not going to be in the postseason. Another season in Chicago where you're at the bottom of the standings, and he's kind of in that same vein of like Nick Foligno, where he talks about like wanting to lay the foundation for building something. And I think he's still in that mode of like trying to get the most out of each game, trying to get the most out of each season, especially with where Chicago is at right now. And for him personally, like he's the veteran on this defensive group. So he's kind of tagged with bringing along a lot of these young guys and getting them acclimated to the NHL and getting them ready to be, that next wave. And, he's the guy that, is signed through next season. So he still has motivation to, continue to be at the top of his game, because he can be a part of next year where, maybe the arrow starts to point up. And then if he's contributing in a way that allows him to get another contract in Chicago to be, again, part of that arrow trending up and be part of, competitive Blackhawks games, like that's incentive for him. So you saw after he scored his goal, like he was amped up to get that second goal of the year. And, I think it's something that he's continuing to push for is to keep putting, the best effort out there to, for himself and for, as an example for the young guys.
Yeah. It's cool to see him as bought in as he is. And you could totally justify him feeling burnt out and tired of this 100%, because before he was here, he was in Phoenix, and it wasn't much better there either. So it's been a rough career in terms of wins and losses for Connor Murphy, but man, like, it's crazy to me how little love he gets from Hawks fans, except that guy that sits in front of us in the press box who loves him.
Come on, Murphy.
Like, it's a guy with an Irish name who plays a hard-nosed style, and he's on the Blackhawks. Like, I feel like Connor Murphy should be.
I think it took
more beloved.
It took he's earned it now. I think it took Blackhawk fans time to warm up to him, like seasons, because he was the guy that was traded for Nicholas Jarmelson, a beloved 3-time Cup champion in this city. But as you look, hindsight 2020, the Blackhawks won that trade by a mile. So yeah, it took a little while, but I also think Murphy, as people pull back, kind of like Corey Crawford for a long time, the national, even Hawks fans were, Corey Crawford, anybody can win on that team.
Yeah.
But as you remove him from the mix for a couple of seasons, all of a sudden you appreciate what you have. So you'll probably see more of that in a couple of years.
I hope so. He certainly earned it. All right, before we spring you nuggets or tidbits.
Yeah, I mean, Connor Bedard, it was the Connor show. After the game, Bedard kind of talked about, being in the position of being part of this group, this young group, and what you can learn from being in games like this, where you're up against an Avalanche team that it took more than 60 minutes for them to get the win, and you can tell, like, I think he's beyond the moral victory stage of his career. I think personally he is beyond that, but I think he is still part of that group that's going to be the young guys moving forward. That's going to be, like, he's been here 2 years ahead of everybody, but now he's going to be the guy that's been here that is still part of that group. Like, it's not like a Vlasic situation where it's just like, oh, he's in his early 20s. Like, he's going to be 20 to start next season. So, he's still young. Like I said before, like, he's younger than Rinzel. He's younger than Oliver Moore, younger than Frank Nazar. Like, he is still kind of in that group now, and he can kind of be in that shuffle. He's not just the focal point, but I think there's still going to be some more lesson learning and moral victories to come from this group into next season. But I think for Bedard, like, he has that he's already had 2 very hard losing seasons. I think it's going to be him probably bringing the drive, I would say, in that young group to be like, hey, like, I know we're getting used to the NHL. You guys are all, kind of catching up to speed here, but he might be a guy that can drive that group to say, like, this, like, yeah, we're all learning lessons, but we got to learn them fast. And you got to have that drive to, like, kind of get over that hump and not have that culture of us like, well, moral victories, losing's like, I don't think he's going to sit for that. And I think he's going to be a driving factor to push the team over that, rather than, as some people might view that as being kind of sulking or, sorry for himself that he's in this situation. I don't get that at all. I get the fact that I get the sense that it's going to be him driving this group and motivating them, and being more or less that peer example of, like, we got to push, let's get this thing going.
Let's hope so. Shooting the puck would help.
It would.
Shooting the puck more often would help a lot. I really liked his game today, for the record. He had 2 shots on goal. He had 7 shot attempts, 3 hits. That's being a factor. Obviously, had an assist too. I like Bedard's game a lot. Those need to happen more frequently. More games like this. No more of the 1 shot attempt, no shots on goal. That can't be. He has to be the aggressor, and I hope he gets that message between now and the beginning of next season. All right, Mario, we're going to spring you. No practice tomorrow. Off day for all of us. That's very exciting. So we'll talk to you Friday.
All right, see you guys.
All right, that's Mario Tirabassi live from the United Center. Follow him on Twitter at Mario _Tirabasi. Hey, we've got over still 300 people watching. We need more than 151 likes. Please do us a favor. Hit that like button for us. It takes half a second, and it helps us out big time when you click that like button. So please, 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 let's do it. Hit that button and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page as well. Before we get to 4-star of the game, can I bitch about something?
Sure.
It has been chapping my ass for several years now.
Oh, wow.
Every game we park in Lot A.
Right.
We walk from, is that Warren, I believe?
Yes.
To the United Center on Madison. So we're walking north or south towards Madison. That side of the building is covered in LED video screens.
Other side is too, but we don't
They are 40% burned out or broken. It looks horrible. Fix it. It is the focal point when you walk up to the building. These LEDs that show cool videos and advertisements, and I'm sure the people who are paying for advertisements on said LED boards would like the LED boards to be legible.
Like the advertisers that are on the jerseys that half the city can't see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. What are we doing? Either turn them off or fix them.
Maybe Jerry Reinsdorf bought the LEDs the same place he bought the tarp at Sox Park.
I don't know. Is there like an LED father that works for the Reinsdorfs that can fix it? And I don't know whose
name is Leadbelly.
I don't know whose job this is. I don't know whose jurisdiction it falls under. But my God, figure it out.
Probably a United Center
management
thing. But yeah, you're right.
I'll say this. The previous leadership group, may they rot in hell for their sins. John McDonough and
they
company,
never would have let that happen.
Would never happen.
No,
never. There'd be one burned out LED, 15 people would be fired, and they would be fixed. It looks horrible. I get it for 1 year, whatever, COVID, whatever excuse you want to make. All those excuses are over. Fix the freaking lights.
Maybe they are just waiting for both the Bulls and they're going to replace them all completely. That's what I would think. They need that whole. I don't know how easy it
looks
is.
Like crap right now.
It does. I don't know. I'm not an LED guy. I don't know what it takes to fix that. You may need to replace the whole thing, and they just don't have the time.
Well, then you shouldn't have bought it in the first place.
Well, sure, but
you don't buy a Ferrari if you can't afford a Ferrari payments. All right, I'm done. Thank you. It's been bothering me, and I'm not going to tweet about it. I'm not going to say anything about it.
You did.
I walked in today, and it looked worse than ever. Maybe it was just the way the sun was hitting it or whatever. It was embarrassing. For an original 6 team and a building as nice as the United Center, even though it's 30 years old, is still one of the nicest and most state-of-the-art buildings in the NHL. To have that greet you as you walk up to the building, unacceptable.
I'm going to blame Garpax.
Good.
Do they still run the Bulls?
Take that, Garpax. Yeah.
Let's get Matt Peck to throw a hat about the LEDs. That'll get it changed.
Maybe he threw too many hats at the LEDs, and that's why they're broken. We'll never know.
I don't think they let him anywhere near that building anymore.
That's probably a good idea. That's probably a good idea. All right, let's get to the 4-star of the game. As voted by you, the CHGO Blackhawks fans, the winner is Spencer Knight, who stopped 29 of 31 Colorado Avalanche shots. Great bounce back game for him. Good to see. Congratulations to Spencer Knight. Do we have any more super chats we got to get? I think we got. Oh, no, there was one we have to get to. Damien. Oh, yeah. Windy City Hockey, who, boy, find yourself someone that loves you as much as Windy City Hockey hates Anders Sorensen. He says, Jimmy Waite better be the only coach left. So there's a $2 super chat from him. And our buddy Damien from Switzerland says, if you had to trade an active Swiss NHL player to the Hawks, who would you go for? And who would be the best fit in your opinion? What would you trade for this player? I mean, if I'm taking a Swiss player, it's Nico Hischier.
Yes.
He's exactly what they need.
He'd be a really good fit. If the price was too high for him, I guess I'd settle for Timo Meier.
That would work too.
I mean, Roman Josi, fine, but he's a little long in the tooth.
Long in the tooth.
But
you don't need a rider. It's fun to say too.
It's Ned Niederlander. Yeah, Nico Hischier is the play. And what would you trade for this player? Whatever they wanted.
Yeah. First round pick.
Sure.
And Philip Kurashev.
Yeah, Swiss for Swiss.
That's right. All right. We're going to wrap things up. We are back Friday. Is there a game Friday? I don't even know what the hell's going on.
Yes, it's Alex Ovechkin going.
Oh, that's over. Yeah, that's
you guys
Ovechkin.
have a pregame and a postgame that night.
3 goals away for
I mean,
Ovechkin. And just to
you don't,
remind
yeah.
everybody, Ovechkin scored his 800th goal against the Hawks
on a hat trick.
So he could break the record against the Hawks on a hat trick.
Arvid Soderblom is like one of the 4 goalies on the entire planet that's never given up a goal of Ovechkin.
It would be cooler if he broke it against the Penguins.
It would be cooler. When do they play the Penguins?
I think they're next for the...
They're next for the Hawks.
Oh, yeah, maybe I'm looking at it wrong.
Yeah, you're thinking of the next 2 Penguins play the Hawks back to back.
To the internet.
We don't play them all season, and yet we play the Penguins twice in 3 days.
Oh, they don't play the Penguins till the last game of the year.
Yeah, you're thinking of the
break
Hawks,
it by
yeah.
then. Yeah.
Just a friendly reminder, too. Friday is also opening day for Wrigley. The Cubs are in town, and so just a reminder, if you are a Cubs fan... honestly, I can't remember.
They should
who
play
we're
the
playing.
A's every
Padres.
We're playing the Padres. Yeah. Yeah. I
I'd
should
rather
know
play
that.
the A's.
Every game.
Here's my baseball take. More games against the A's. Those are fun.
Those are fun games. Everyone, though, if you're a Cubs fan or not a Cubs fan, you should go over to CHGO Cubs and subscribe to their new channel.
Yes.
We will be doing a delayed post game on Friday, so make sure you tune into that and show some love.
Yes, absolutely.
A delayed, slightly intoxicated post game.
Not for me, but Cody might be.
Sarah,
Luke probably will be sober.
The professional Sarah.
Always professional.
Never drunk at work. That's the only thing that makes you pro.
That's the only thing Sarah and I have in common.
There you
Yeah,
go. Exactly.
absolutely.
Never drunk at work.
All right, we'll talk to everybody Friday, 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock. No, I'm sorry, 5:30 pregame, 6 o'clock puck drop. For some reason, the Blackhawks website has Eastern time on it, which is interesting. So we'll talk to you then on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast, powered by Bet365.
We all silly like the mayor.